Test, 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 test. Can you guys hear me? What's up? What's up? Crazy day. Crazy day. Crazy day for the oil field. Crazy day for the industry. Crazy day for everybody who's watching what Bitcoin's doing. Hope you guys are doing well. I apologize. I am late. I am far behind. But we are here. We're going to keep the show going. I've been up since 5 this morning and been literally took an oil field control system for subsea use from paper to delivery to a client in about 3 weeks. So I just got that through full system integration testing today. Ran home. I'm going on vacation tomorrow to Florida for a week. But I was like, my guys, it's time to get the stream on. I'm sorry. So anyway, per the usual, the stream is intended to be used for educational purposes only. Even if you were to mistake it for financial advice, this is clearly an art stream. If you guys have any interest, dude, it's 10,000 lines of code. I don't monetize any of these YouTube videos or any of the trading material or any of inside on rainbow theory and stuff like that. But if you want to try us out, it's $10 to try it out for a month. You can go from there, figure out all about our OGs, why the tools are what they are. 7 years in the making, got a bunch of OGs who trust it. It's real signal. How do I know? Because I got frustrated way back in the day when I tried to do it myself. So anyway, check us out there if you want to see it. I'm not going to touch this rest of the stream, but if you want to know why my charts look like rainbows, that's why. But anyway, I don't know how to tell you guys this, but higher prices are in fact bullish. That tends to be a thing that you guys are not used to seeing. Let me know if that's okay in the chat size, because you guys maybe can see it or maybe not. But anyway, what's up, Dime? I'm here for the man with a soothing voice. Crypto Paradigm, other people describe your voice as something way better than mine. We need to get you back on stream, though, sometime. I'm way better at it. If you guys don't know, Crypto Paradigm was the first guy to ever give us a stream. And I'm a huge fan of him and his cats, who are very, very reluctant to hop on the Rainbow Trends bandana session fame. But anyway, I don't have much to tell you guys today. All the stuff we've studied for these years, and you guys have been on these streams forever, it's played out. And you guys are still standing. And if you're long, and I feel like a lot of these rainbow traders, rainbow theory dudes, and anybody who's like part of the fam for sure, because we've got people who are definitely in the fam and then use different methods by all means. You went through hell the past 8 months. You went through absolute capitulation, absolute hell, saw FTX die, saw all these crazy things, and we're here. All-time highs. And all the stuff you guys have been talking about, all the stuff we dreamed about like in 2017, like it's here. Like we're talking 6 figures is like right around the corner. It's here. Like Larry Fink, ETFs, all this stuff. ETF options are live now this week. Gary Gensler's resigning January 20th. Like the stars got yanked into alignment and you guys are here to party. This was god awful. This took every ounce of strength I had to try to navigate this. As well as give ideas of where we're at. This does not match any form of schematic I've ever seen in my entire life. But we made it through. We knew this was likely reaccumulation, and it was. And we broke out. 2 creek jumps and a capitulation away from the in-carry trade, and it's fully broken out. And now it's sitting and people are scared. People keep trying to short this. People keep losing their entire fortunes chasing this breakout. And the one thing you guys have to remember is the bears and the whales in general have been teaching you to trade chop for the past 8 months. We're not in chop mode anymore. We are in all-time high price discovery mode, which means things change. We no longer have any pivots. Every single pivot I've been referencing for the past 2-3 years is gone. So keep that in mind. It's gone. And we're in price discovery mode, which means the trend's changing. Well, how is the trend changing? I have no pivots. I have no support resistance. The only thing you've got is like a fib projection if you're lucky. But for rainbow theory stuff, we're going to be looking at the color of the candles. We're going to be looking at TD sequentials, SD sequentials, whatever you want to call them. Mali pivots is the way I prefer it, albeit we take it further than 9 and 13. is what it is. But we're also going to be just chasing colors and chasing rainbows at this point. Reversion bands and paint are going to be what I'm going to try to keep my sanity. And until we completely blow these out on like lower time frames, like the H1, we're going to keep grinding up, in my opinion. And we can bet on the pullback for sure, but it's going to hurt if you time it wrong. But anyway. What's up, Nexus? Where we're going, we don't need charts. I don't know. I think you need to talk about time for sure, Dime. I think people want to know how high and when. We don't really know yet. We don't. We won't know until after the fact. But I will tell you, likely, if we go back to like my old charts, and I would have to. I remember I just came rushing home from being in the field all day. I don't have my old data here. Let me go back to this one. Is this it? Yeah. So if we pull up the Mayor multiple stuff, we are cooking. And this is still the chart that I'm going to be using. I think in general, I think you're looking at like March, April timeframe till November of next year, which basically means March till December. I know that's a big window, but we've been through hell for a while. We're going to be looking for potential exits, and you need to mentally figure out that it's you're not going to nail the top. You're going to do everything you want in your entire life studying these charts to try to nail the Pico top, to only find out that people that were able to sell on a 30% pullback survived these bear markets way better than the people that like claim to have who've done the Pico top. Even with like rainbow theory stuff, when I first like put my ass on the line, I bid at 4,400 and had to watch it draw down to like 32. It's a huge thing to stomach. And I got out at like 13.2. I got out with 1% of this top, but that's because it was parabolic as hell on the 1 hour. These things were not parabolic as hell. These were rollovers that were really, really weird, and then we went straight into capitulation news. Even here, we thought we had the bottom, and then FTX completely died and pushed us to a level lower. We really had like a nice Wyckoff kind of set up there, and then it went boom. But anyway, where we're going, it's still going to be the same story. We're bullish, and until proven otherwise. And I have to say this, you need to go send Michael Saylor a message because you owe him an apology. There's no other way to say it. I talked about this dude for years. He's unliquidatable. You cannot liquidate Saylor. Given enough stretch of time, he's going to win because there's no way around it. If you get close to his liquidation level, he has he has alternative paths which he can take to pull his DCA further back away so that the bears can't touch him. He survived, and now he's way in profit. And now everybody's a big fan of him, wanting to give him even more money. So he's only going to keep eating. Larry Fink is going to keep eating too. We don't have all the numbers in yet, but if you haven't noticed, Fink keeps eating more than the mine supply daily by multiple magnitudes or multiple numbers. Pick a number, any number, right? Things are starting to squeeze, and then ETF options are online. The thing Crypto Paradigm's been talking about, like the holy grail, is letting options flow hit this. We've seen nothing but degeneracy from BlackRock on spot. We now are talking about ETF options, turning this into like perpetual leverage on an asset which only has 21 million of them. So we are now officially in never been done before territory. All the stuff we dreamed about here, 2017, I remember vividly my conversations about like ETFs hitting way back here with like CryptoJack way back in the day. And all these other people, like we were talking about options, we were talking about institutions, That stuff didn't show up on this run. We went all the way to 65,000, and the only person who bit was Tesla. Elon Musk took the Saylor handbook and DCA'd into this, and then ended up having to drop, 80% of that bag? But he's still way up. Regardless, we're here, and these things are now live. Josh is calling for 333K by next year. We will see. The bears are calling for lower. I'm personally going to say, hey, you need to pay attention to the Mayor multiple. That's going to be my grounding feature. When I talk to others, you're going to see Dime talk about the Pi cycle top because that seems to be a pretty consistent one. It's not going to get you out at the Pico top. This is a hard game. Mayor multiple is going to start screaming at you when it's the top. I have a visualization of bands here that I thought I was the only one to have done it, but it looks like Ozzy's now doing it as well. But you can see here on the run to up to 65 on that run, we were only at 25K when we touched that band, and then we ripped it all the way to 65. Regardless, it's telling you the window's there. Now, the 13.5 parabolic top, Pi cycle didn't catch this one. This is definitely an inner cycle, non-all-time high, but it's a parabolic top regardless. Slammed colors, and it blipped it, only held it for a little bit, and then went. And then you can see here the 2017 run, which was beautiful and vertical. It hit it a bunch of times. So regardless, that's going to be the first indication that I know we're starting to get in the final stretches. Timing-wise with the cycles and everything else, that's still kind of my window that I'm looking at. It's looking like it's going to be next year. Somewhere between the end of Q1 up to like into Q4. And I'm glad to be wrong. If this just keeps grinding, we're going to be there. But if you look at this, we're getting close again up into the yellow bands. Here, when we hit 72,000, we hit the yellow bands here. These are the standard deviations of the Mayer multiple. Go look up the Mayer multiple. It's amazing, but people don't know about it at all and don't know how to visualize it. The data is real. It's just you got to go and figure out how to visualize it. So anyway. Yeah, Dime, I'm going to have you come on and show the option flow because I was really interested if you were going to get the cheddar flows on the IBIT stuff out the gate. The January 100,000s are crazy for 2026. That actually seems low, but if we're on the backside, I don't know. Regardless, standard deviations wise, this is kind of like what we're looking at. If you turn log off, it gets real wild. But back to a logarithmic. I'm still thinking this is where we're going to peak out. So you're in the last stretches of life-changing money. It's somewhat of an unofficial badge of honor to blow life-changing money. Been there, done that. You need to kind of get it in your head that you're going to be like way off from the Pico top and mentally be able to accept it because you're going to want to chase all these alts and stuff because eventually Bitcoin's going to peak and alts are going to cycle all-time highs before the Bitcoin peak and after. All the highs have never been in sync with the alts. Now, the bottoms sync. When you hit capitulation wick bottoms, alts bottom within 40 seconds. It's like to a T. But the tops, they roll over differently. That's just the exit liquidity of the whales rolling into other projects, getting their pump and dumps out and out of the way. Regardless, that's where we're at. I'm going to keep watching this. And if we touch this red band, I will start saying, hey, we're getting kind of close. If we're parabolic as F and touch it, sure. But if we just keep grinding on it, we at least know we're like in that final stretch, which could be a month, could be 6 months, who knows. Could double price from there. It could very well hit it here and go all the way up to here. And that's like 200K. Regardless, the red right now it's at $130,000. So it's pretty crazy. But back to the chart I had before. Please don't blow up. All right, so we're back here. I got most of the stuff here. Anyway, back to the H4. As far as I'm concerned, if we can just keep riding this, we can keep grinding up. And if we keep grinding up, we're just going to destroy the bears and keep destroying them and keep destroying them. People keep calling for these like bear divs in the RSI prints, and I just do not care. Me personally, this was very patient trade zone. Grab these bottoms on these creek jumps, grab these capitulation knives, be real boring, waiting for the bottoms, which sucked because you had to wait months at a time. Sure. Right here, this type of stuff, I am scared to try to trade this. I damn sure wouldn't try to short it, and I'm scared to take profit. So what do you call that? Locking the F in. I think we're getting close to the end. As sad as that sounds, when I say close to the end is the end of the cycles in crypto just does this up, and then it goes nuts. So this is where like the last stretches where you're going to see like the most of your gains while you've just been grinding for the past 2 years. It's part of it. But the financial institutions are lined up to send this. Everything's lining up to send this. The stars are aligned per se, and we have to just kind of figure out where this is going to go. Kobe's calling for $5 million per Bitcoin. Seems nice. I'm sure he's not talking about next year, but by God, I would be happy to be wrong and have $5 million Bitcoins next year. It'd be pretty freaking sweet. One thing I did want to show, let me pull this back real quick. Let me find it. Top assets. Like I said, I literally came from the high bay and came down here today into the shop, or into the work studio. If you guys don't know, we flipped silver, beat it to a pulp dime, beat Saudi Aramco, and now we're like on the heels of Alphabet, which is then Amazon and then Microsoft. Like, relatively speaking, all of this is going to get consumed likely this cycle. I don't know if NVIDIA just keeps sending. That wouldn't be the case, but the King Daddy's gold and some of the stuff Kobe was talking about is surpassing this and then going like 5 times past it, which market cap wise to support, even if you just went to 18 trillion, you're still talking about 9 times the price right now, which is like 800,000, 900,000-ish or so. You're talking like $1 million Bitcoins to just reach gold's supply as far as market cap, which is awesome. But just if you can't tell, I call this the uncomfortably bullish is where we're at with that one. So it's just, I don't know. Now, I remember in 2017, the charts were just vertical. We're not vertical yet, but we're damn sure waking up and grinding. And this is my preference. I want this to grind. I don't want this to go vertical yet. Because we go up here, print pinks, we can call a top. And that's how I really got my spidey senses back in the day, was catching tops and bottoms with like rainbow paint stuff. So I want to see grinding. I don't want to see full sends that just get pulled back to, because right now we keep sending and not pulling back, and everybody keeps trying to call a level that's going to get brought back down to their knees, and they just keep getting grinded to a pulp. So I think your liquidity squeeze is here. I think there's not enough coins to feed Fink. I don't think there's enough coins to feed Fidelity, and I finally think we're starting to see sellers not wanting to let it go. And now we're starting to see all-time highs on a lot of stuff. Solana, I just saw the news, went all-time high today. Solana, we're all-time high. Once we got into this range, I did not want to play anymore until it went above it. And we've broken through above it. And just like when I saw Ethereum break out of its multi-month range and start pulling back up, that's when I longed the breakout. It's really boring. Frankly, we saw a lot of the rainbow traders completely destroy these ranges trading this, and it was awesome, but it's time to lock in. We've got Bitcoin going into price discovery. We've got Solana going into price discovery. We have the most hated asset in the world, Ethereum, starting to actually look decent. Kobe mentioned it today about it looking more and more likely that this can get back up to its all-time high while Bitcoin, reaches like 150-ish or so. And then you instantly see price pump like 10%, which is pretty crazy. If you guys don't know, I traded this a little bit, sold back at this resistance, then waited, and then finally it took off, and I started DCing in as this broke, as Bitcoin kept pulling up, because I was like, hey, Bitcoin, either Ethereum's going to zero or Bitcoin's going to eventually drag Ethereum up with it. If you can't tell, this has been a painful trade, but I'm up like 15-ish%. No, it's not that. It was 20... I'm probably 20% up on that one currently, which is nothing compared to like what Bitcoin's been doing. But regardless, the plan's working. It just kind of sucks. But in my opinion, if Bitcoin and everything else is going to go to all-time highs, except maybe Litecoin, I'm going to bet on this coming back up. And it's going to hurt, and it sucks. But it is what it is. But that's where we're at. Like, guys, things are looking good. I don't know how to tell you this over and over again, but higher prices are bullish. People keep buying this stuff. And the books haven't been looking too crazy. As I've been looking through them throughout like the past few weeks, the whales have really just been layering in sells at like 92, 93, 94. They haven't really gone too crazy. And now we're coming up on the king, which is 100K. And we... just a few hours ago, or within the past hour, we got to 99.4. And if you want to see what's keeping Coinbase away, You got 89 Bitcoins at 99.5. You got 193 at 99.8. And then you have 663 at 100K. Whether or not you can touch those, that remains to be seen. But I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people take profit or not at that one. What's up, my guy Josh? That's another one. You need to watch out. So watch for dime on the Pi Cycle tops as well as some other ones. But definitely watch out when another telltale is, like I say, like read your OGs. Josh will get nervous typically in the tops. And you won't necessarily know what he's saying, especially since he talks very technical at times. But you can tell from the tone he gets skittish at the Pico tops. So just stay tuned to that. And he streams like 10 times a week. So anyway, let's take a look at Binance real quick. Oh, I want to show you this too. I don't remember which book it was. Guys, I remember normally I spend about 2 hours preparing all my slides, and I am not prepared. We're ad-libbing this one tonight, so thank you for hanging out with us. I'll have to find it, but regardless, as soon as Kobe mentioned Ethereum, the books went on fire and it pumped and it was awesome. But I do want to check Bitcoin and see where they are with spot on Binance real quick. I really care about, I know a lot of people trade leverage on these trading light books, but I really like looking at it on spot as far as the macro walls. And there's your martingales right there. So past day or so, Binance has lit this up. When you see these like this equally spaced out, that's not a human doing it. That's a human using an algorithm or a computer. They're called martingales, and it just allows them to get like perfect DCAing into like an exit or a buy. If you can't tell, it's stopping at the Pico Schmico line right there on Binance. So the Binance sells right now are keeping us from 100K for the most part. At least that's how I interpret it. But I want to see this eaten tonight because it would just be friggin' awesome. Anyway, Ethereum's looking good. I joke about Litecoin a lot because it needs to be done. But Litecoin's at $90. All-time high twice in a row, I think, was 400. I don't want to bet on this, but especially with Litecoin like trying to rebrand as a meme coin and not mentioning that they like support the Doge mining, which I think is a huge oversight. They're making stick cartoons. Yeah, 420 is the all-time high, 414. Maybe you'll get it, but I think you're going to lose buying power if you just sit there and watch Sol take off again. Actually, you know what? Silly me. I take back everything. The Zcash halvening is tomorrow. That's actually why the entire market is pumping. It's subtle. It's very subtle. But Zcash, Silbert's dream coin of the privacy chain, is it's doing its halvening tomorrow. So that's probably why Bitcoin's at like 100K right now. I joke. I do like how Zcash trades, but who tracks that besides Barry Silbert? I don't know. But one thing to remember, and I need to find it because 9K posted it today, and I thought it was a really, really good tweet. Gary Gensler sucks, and he's really, really bad in regards to DeFi and like Ethereum. So him deciding to step out at the end of the year is probably a signal to start stacking Ethereum, which is probably going to suck because I've been working on this trade for quite a bit of time. But he mentioned, where was it? Oh. Yeah, here it is. This is the exact one. It was a subcom, and I wanted to show it. If you guys don't follow like 9K, he's up there in my top 5 with the other few that you already know. This is probably a signal to stack ETH for a revenge pump, which I think is right. Gensler cucked ETH and DeFi utility for a long time. The second part is the DeFi. I keep thinking that we're going to have DeFi Summer 2.0, whether that's in the actual fall or today or tomorrow. A lot of the DeFi projects that are very, very legit, and mind you, we've actually got Jared Gray from Sushi Swap going to do an interview with us in early December. We're still working out the details of that one, but the thing is, I wanted to focus on DeFi utility. There is legit purposes for DeFi. There are very, very legit teams, and they've literally been just counting the days before they get a Wells notice that they're going to get sued to oblivion by the SEC. Gensler's out January 20th. He's resigning. Whether he gets fired or resigns or whatever, January 20th is the most amount of days you will ever see Gary Gensler in control of the SEC, and then someone else will be running the show. At that point, we're talking about the DeFi tokens having like frame rails to actually have utility without getting sued to death. Aave has been really, really strong lately. It's been bouncing a lot. Josh still refuses to put it as a channel in the Cloud Discord, so I may just have to do it in the Rainbow Discord. But I think there is a play here, potentially. I still think blue chip DeFi is going to be a thing. It's just, man, it has sucked for a very long time trade-wise. Sushi's still below $1. But I'm rooting for those dudes. I think they build cool stuff. And I think it's cool that you can actually have teams in the United States not dreading a whale's notice. People have been begging for regulatory frame rails of how to do this. And just told, sorry, I hope you get it right. Otherwise, we're going to sue you, which is just the worst thing ever. But now you have like legit, like Coinbase is getting involved with advising the White House about what they want to do. We have SEC probably going to be actually useful for the first time of actually giving regulatory oversight. Like Brian Armstrong, Jesse, with Kraken and all them have like begged and pleaded for oversight and just tell us what to do. And it was just, sorry. Here's a lawsuit. So shout out Paul with Coinbase. I hope you keep up the fight because it has been a hell of a one. I'm looking at Ethereum Classic just because every time I want to get really, really deep into Ethereum Classic ends up running harder, and it may, but just wanted to check it. I mean, honestly, right now, guys, I don't care about a lot of stuff. I'm not chasing altcoins. I do have like meme coins from here and there, just buying random stuff and stacking it because I'm a degenerate who should just be buying Coinbase Sailor or buying Bitcoin Sailor style. But in reality, this has to stop at some point and go sideways. I don't know where that is. Every time we get a little breather, it legs up. The whale prints start coming in pretty damn hard, and it just goes hard. Let me see. Whale print clusters. I was messaging my buddy at an exchange, which will not stay named, or will stay unnamed. We started getting, no, it was on Coinbase. If you guys haven't noticed, the blowouts have been coming on Coinbase. That's where we've seen the data. Not the data, but that's where we've seen the push through. The price premium on Coinbase starts sending, and then it just, people go. We really started getting a lot of whale prints here on the lower time frames, like the H1, the H2. We actually got like whale print cluster alerts on the H1. And once I saw that, I just like, hey, he's like, where are we going? Where are we going? I was like, we're not going down. We're going up. These started stacking on the H1 and then boop, and here we go. And the other thing you guys have to realize, a lot of the world is still not talking crypto or Bitcoin. If this thing can flash wick 100K, all the news cycles are going to hit, in my opinion. I don't know how Bitcoin hits $100,000, six figures, $0.1 million and doesn't get like headline news. I really don't. So that's my take on it. I don't really know what to tell you. 100K is awesome. I have a thing. I saw this. Let me see, because I turned Discord off. Christmas gifts. You guys really need to worry about Christmas gifts this year for the people that doubted Coinbase. And I hope you have the best Thanksgiving of your life. Tell all your nephews and your uncles and your aunts who talked crap about it for the longest time to you were right and they were wrong. That's where we can go with it. Now here it is. Let me find it. Let me pull it back up and switch the screen back. Bear with me. For 2024, I think you need to get this candle in as a stocking stuffer for a lot of your family. So the smells like I was right about Bitcoin candle. I'm going to be sending this to every single real life person who sent me text about tulips. The amount of tulip posts I have from this one really, really good friend of mine, he's been oddly silent. He loved sending me stuff when Bitcoin was down in the 20s and 30s, but hasn't said anything now that we're in the 90s. So I'm really, really wanting to get him this one for Christmas and wish him the best of luck. But anyway, I will say this, though. If that dude ever buys Bitcoin, like, that's going to be my non-technical exit signal. So anyway, but hope you guys have fun. In reality, though, you guys need to figure out, get your things in alignment. This bad boy is going to go hard, and just while the bears and the other whales trained you to trade shop for like 8 months and got you in tune to it to the point that breakouts felt weird to long and FOMO into, you're going to get really, really used to this. Up only. And as amazing as up only is, this doesn't last forever. And I know I've the last time I called an Ethereum top, I got so much hate, even from like people that totally understand like how I do charts. In general, though, let me explain this really, really quick so people understand what the hell I'm saying, so you don't take this as I'm calling bear tops. In general, especially if you ever see me trade channel walks set up at an angle that's not conductive to being supported forever. The one that really I got called out for being a bear was the Ethereum channel walk, which was pointing towards, if it sustained till the end of 2023, it would have been $150,000 per Ethereum. And it's just flat out like, that can't happen. On a long enough time scale, like a decade maybe, but not within like 9 months. So the thing you have to keep in mind right now, Bitcoin is going hard. So if we just kind of mentally check ourselves, if you just can loosely draw like what a channel can do, and I'm not saying this is channel walking yet, it's kind of maybe looking at it now that I say that, but it's got to look real specific for me to like start calling that out. That's a whole nother stream. Needless to say, you're seeing where this is going real fast. By January of 2025, we're talking like $350,000 per Bitcoin. And by God, maybe it does that. But the point is, you can't just run this to $1 million by the summer of 2025. This basically hits $1 million by mid to late 2025. And as much as I want that to happen, and I think Bitcoin can hit those altitudes, it's not going to do that in a straight line, straight channel. So what you have to plan for is eventually this breaking and pulling back. So what I'm trying to tell you, you're not going to call the Pico top. You've studied every chart in your life to try to learn how to do that. You're not going to do that. What you're going to have to do is mentally prepare yourself to get into ridiculous, life-changing profits and securing them instead of round tripping. Because if you make this mistake here, it will cost you a cycle. And you're going to have to do this for another 4 years before you go do whatever you want in your life. Not answer to a boss or anything like that, or wake up at 6 a.m. every day, right? So I'm warning you. I've been there. I've watched stuff go all the way up, and I've watched it come all the way back down, and diamond handed it. And I'm wanting you guys to realize we're getting to that point where it's likely coming next 3 to 6 months to 12 months, whatever. Maybe this all just goes parabolic. World institutions adopt it. Countries adopt it. Never comes down. Maybe. And maybe that's why you need to have an anchor bag of like OG Bitcoin, not alts, OG Bitcoin, and store it away for your kids, your grandkids, all that. Maybe you can retire your bloodline if you do this right. Maybe, right? So just keep in mind, there's very few real OGs on Twitter that actually do this and don't just sit there and take KOL, whatever you call it, key opinion leader deals and shills and all this other stuff. Luckily, some of those people are gone now. Not to name names, but you know who I'm talking about. At least some of them. But anyway, that's where we're at. We're at 99K and it's beautiful. And if you don't know, long time ago, Pixa agreed to do an interview at 100K. And it looks like we're going to get it soon. I don't know how the ETF flows keep coming in like this and we don't get it, frankly. But we will see. We still have to get through this crap on Binance. But we're here. You guys have been through the streams where this has all been hell for a really long time. And now we're not. So Happy to see it. I hope you guys are doing well, because like if you survive this far, like this is where you wanted to be. You did not want to blow up before this last stretch. And I say last stretch, it's not gonna feel like 10, 12 months. It's not. And it very well may just all wrap up in March of next year and we're done in 4 or 5 months. That very well may happen. I don't know. We'll see. But this is freaking awesome to watch. I will say that until it's not, right? But like I said, you are gonna have to take profit either on the front end and watch price go up, or you're gonna have to watch price come down on the back end, and you're going to have regrets that you didn't sell it higher, and you're just gonna want to diamond hand it in the event that you can bet that, hey, it actually came down here, and I'm gonna just diamond hand it because I think it's gonna come back up for a little pico top, when in reality, you can get caught on this backside, which doesn't come back up for years. So I'm bullish as F, but I'm just being real with you guys. We're talking about a time where you can lock in some serious stuff. And by all means, this is the time to get to it. This is where trading gets easy. We've gone through the grinding stuff for a long time. So anyway. No, Nexus. I think Zcash is going to do the halving and then pull back, and then we'll be done. But we'll see. Maybe all this price is done after the Zcash halving, and then we pull back and go back to zero. I don't know. We'll see. Regardless, your $1 trillion asset's no longer $1 trillion anymore. It's like 1.6 or whatever it was. So that's kind of awesome. What is it? I'm sorry. It's almost 2 trillion now. Silly me. Silly runner. It's just crazy to think of that, just to be honest. Like, if you've been around a few cycles, there's been some like times where this stuff was like nasty, made fun of, and we saw absolute market shenanigans. We saw an American exchange come up on methamphetamines that went all the way up into Congress and then blew up, and half of them went to jail. Yeah, like we've seen some shit. But we're here, we're standing, and we may actually see Doge go to $2. Like, who knows? Like, stuff's lining up. All I know, we used to race hamsters, and now, like, Bitcoin's at like 100K, so you guys deserved it. And seriously, I keep saying, like trying to pump you guys up or anything. Like, you guys have been through hell the past few years. You really, really have. And you've got some scars from it, but you're more intelligent from it. And now it's time to, like, get your ducks in a row and not get blindsided by this. We had to convince ourselves this wasn't going into zero. We have to convince ourselves that this isn't going to go to infinity. It's just part of it. And that's with every asset. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, when you guys hear me talk about like how XRP cannot go to $500 at least before we leave this solar system, it's just not in the cards mathematically. The forget gold asset valuation. Like, this would be just, we have to go mine diamonds on asteroids to hit those things. Now, I'm not saying XRP can't go higher in percentages. It definitely can. But there are certain things that just are possible, and there are certain things that are not. Like, Bonk can't go to $2. XRP can't really go to $30, let alone $500. But at the same time, not Zcash, Bitcoin can't go to $1 million this year. Like, that's not in the cards. Given enough time, you can get there. You can drag those metrics up. We can get valuations that high. Like, that stuff's kind of possible, but certain things aren't. So don't just be careful of what you watch on TikTok. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, thanks again, guys, for all that are coming out. And mind you, I don't monetize any of this stuff as far as the videos and all this stuff. And if you could smash the like button on YouTube, that'd be amazing. Or even if you're on Twitter, just click the YouTube link and smash like. That algorithm on YouTube is ridiculous. It's so baity with how many clicks you get. That's why you see everybody with these PFPs that are got their mouths open and all these crazy things, but whatever. But frankly, guys, I'm happy. I'm about to go on vacation. I'm going to Florida for a week with some of my friends that I haven't seen in years. My original like shark fishing group is getting back together. Got the wetsuits on, got the kayaks loaded, I've spent like $400 on bait last week. Like, we are so ready, and they're catching big dusky winter sharks right now, like 10-foot sharks. So if your fingers are crossed, I might break a personal best from the beach. So we'll see. I think the biggest shark I've caught from the beach is around 9 feet. I've broken 10 or 11 feet offshore, but I really want to catch a double-digit dusky or tiger shark from sand. That's the goal. That's the holy grail. Holy grail is like a 12-foot tiger. If you're really, really insane, like a great white. And one year, we actually did hook a great white and lost it. But that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother YouTube channel. That's a whole different thing. Like I have time to do fishing YouTubes, but whatever. I am looking at GoPros though. I do want to. The tech has gotten pretty interesting. But anyway, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like I don't have to say much. This is awesome. It's $99,000 per Bitcoin. It's awesome. If you guys have any questions or want me to look at something, by all means, throw it in the chat. Hit me a ticker. Most of the guys in the chat are on YouTube, but I can read the Twitter YouTube comments or Twitter comments if you guys do post them. I just have to reply to them verbally, just the way Elon has this thing like not set up all the way, which is real crazy because it's just like, you know, can land on Mars, but streaming on Twitter's a bit hard. Go figure. Anyway, I'm really curious what Sol can do. I really, really am. What's up, Red? I'll take a look at that in a second. I do want to check Sol. Sol's market cap is $124 billion. So basically, you could 10x it from here, which is $2,000 Solana, which would be crazy. In general, when you guys hear me talk about like what's possible, what's not, look at the price, look at the circulating supply, look at the market cap. If this is $500, we're talking about 200 timesing the market cap, which puts it above Bitcoin by order of magnitude or so. It's not possible. In general, if you want to kind of like estimate like what is the best a coin could ever do, take the market cap and project it to Ethereum, which right now is $406 billion, so like $500 million. In general, maybe one day you can get Solana to flip Ethereum, but for the most part, if you're betting on a coin that's in the anywhere but the top 3, use that as your wall. You're not to say it's not possible, just for like estimation processes. So like XRP, if you wanted to do that, you would multiply this by like 4, which means max is like $6 if you had $6 XRP, it would flip Ethereum. That's why I say like 500 is not a thing, because it would blow Bitcoin out of the water, which is just not going to happen. Anyway, the ticker is Hanbo. Video streaming is rough to run. It is, especially on the boats, Aslan. Ethereum dudes, it's my same chart. I know it's not been a fun one, but as long as Vitalik can get his singing down, I think Bitcoin's going to keep going into price discovery. I think you're going to get Ethereum back up to the all-time high order block. What you do past that, I don't know. But from the bottoms here, we're talking about 71%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for something this big and slow-moving, it's a lot. I started entering once we backed here. I did some scalps along this range, and then I waited till it looked like it was going to break, and I got in and started DCAing up in here. That's what I did, personally. And I have my stops on these orders at stop loss break even, so I can't really lose anything at this point, and it's looking like it's continuing on. So eventually Bitcoin's going to go up to the point where it goes up and it starts stalling. When we get that stall, this will be where your alt season happens, and that's where I think you'll see Ethereum come up and do the move up to here. I just don't know how all these things in the top 5 Bitcoin, the top 5 cryptos like start going into like price discovery, and then like Ethereum doesn't. Maybe Ethereum's really that bad, but I think you're gonna get it, honestly. Not that this is financial advice, this is an art stream, but you get the idea. I don't even know if Hambo... Oh, yeah, Hambo is that weird marine thing. Hambo the finless porpoise. No. We didn't even have enough candles. Ugh. No liquidity, sir. No liquidity. Let me check Tesla. I like Tesla, so... I do want a Cybertruck, believe it or not. Albeit my friend says who has one, he's like, it's awesome, but he's thinking about getting rid of it, which is sad. Because they're so ridiculous, it's just cool. Nvidia is still going outside of the wedge. S&P. We'll see. Jerome's going to keep doing his thing, and eventually the offices are going to switch January next year. And then we're going to see some really, really crazy stuff happen. Because everything that happens up until that point, it's just speculation or like bonus points. Until like the actual dude's in office, he can't be like super negatively judged on his record. But once he's in office, I think you can actually judge, like they can like, okay, well, he actually did this in power. And then people could be real negative and whatever. We're going to see what happens. But anyway. Speaking of Aslan, we got to look at Popcat. Popcat pulled back, unfortunately. I say unfortunately. This has been one of the most ridiculous things. And I'm going to drill Pixa into the ground on questions of how he trades this thing, because he's been trading this thing all year, and it just keeps giving him rainbows. And he kills it. It's quite cool to watch. I wish I could stare at screens all day like that. But anyway... Nexus, I don't think so. Call me crazy. Oh, the other thing. So normally I try to set up all my slides, but remember, we are in complete ad lib mode. If you can't tell, I always try to give like a bearish scenario along with the bullish scenario, but it's really, really, really hard for me to give you guys a bearish scenario right now, considering we're like at 100K. But I will say this. If you crazy dudes keep pumping these 4 horsemen coins, you're going to ruin it for everybody. If you guys keep sending EOS, like, we're going to have a problem. XR, this is the EOS chart. This is the freaking EOS chart. This is the XRP chart. This is bad. Why is this bad? If you wake up the 4 horsemen, which changes from time to time, but in general, I consider it like XRP, Cardano, albeit a lot of people don't consider that one. Like Ethereum Classic, EOS is definitely one of them. Jumps around a lot, but like ADA is pumping, EOS is pumping, XRP is pumping. No me gusta. This is scary. Frankly, when I see Litecoin going crazy too, I typically think that's the last of a cycle run and we're going to have a flush. But right now it's, maybe I'm reading it wrong. I don't know, but I've refused to sell a lot of stuff since we've had the breakout on Bitcoin and we're going into price discovery. And I think I will say this. I was having a conversation with one of the OGs in a private chat, and I was telling them, I haven't seen this before. Bitcoin just keeps pumping into price, which I've seen before. But in general, this does the slingshot trade where it drags all the alts up with it simultaneously, and that's not been the case. We've seen alts go sideways while this bad boy pumps, and it's almost like Bitcoin is just sucking the liquidity out of everything to sustain this run. And if guys, I mean, this is the truth. There will be a day where we touch that red band again. I don't make the rules. There will be a day we touch this thing. Right now, it's at 61,000. I don't think we're touching it anytime soon. But someday, we will have a pullback. And I get people like get offended when I say stuff like that. But that's just the reality. Like, we will have a bad day someday. It's coming. It does rain eventually. The drought's eventually in. Right now, enjoy the hell out of it, because these are the times to party and get yourself set up to be immune to pullbacks and stuff like that. So anyway, I know that sounds like easy. It's really, really hard, but it's fun right now. And that's the truth. So anyway, so tired. Been doing like 12-hour shifts all week, and then today went way deep. But the prototype works, and it's getting sent offshore next week. So really excited to get that out. I do want to check SHIB. If you guys aren't wanting tickers in particular, honestly, like, if you're not long Bitcoin, like Josh had a really, really good video this week. Like, you're losing your buying power. Everything else, anything that's not keeping up with this bad boy is really hurting. So, yeah. I wanted to check SHIB. Yeah. There's SHIB. There's Bonk. Bonk's still going. But I think Doge is going to get the most out of it for a bit with all the stuff with Elon. With this like regime change, he's going to get way more chatty. And this is currently set up like the old original SHIB runs of the day. Pump to infinity, go sideways, flip the coin style trade. It either goes up or it bleeds for a very, very long time. There's no in between. And when I say bleeds, it goes way down. But when it pumps, volume slams, well print slam, and right now this thing is set up like the old SHIB runs. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, SHIB is the one that I study a lot because it's so clean how you see what the whales do when they manipulate the markets. It was this back in the day. I need to go back to 4 hour to see it better, but give me a second. Let me turn off Mally pivots. Shut up, Mally. Dealing with some stuff, rooting for him. He's still active and killing trades. Always love my Mally. But anyway, this is the old SHIB charts. If you can see it, this is what meme coins do. Bunch of whale prints on the bottom, volume slams, blows everything out, and then it hairlines. But it's not a BART. It goes here, and when you start to see just this side, when you just see this much and you don't know what the next step is, you know where your line is in the sand, and that line in the sand either completely nukes back down here like a bleed, or it slams up again and you get your well prints, and there's your well prints, goes up, gets another leg, and then eventually you get your hairline to where you think it's going to happen, and then it's nope, it's out. And by the time you get to this point, it's just bleed time. So instead of it doing like a BART setup where it completely like nukes down, it bleeds. And what happens and what this means is whales were in it, whale prints up, whales kind of got their ducks in a row again, whales sent it again. And then when the retail market FOMO'd into this and kept FOMOing into it, expecting, hey, it just did 2 gigantic pumps, we're going to get a third, the whales left the building and it exited and it bleeds. And this is retail slowly capitulating all the way down for a very, very long time. Like, this sucked. This was bad. And that's what Doge is doing right now. A lower time frame. It's not on H4. It's like H2, H1. There's your hairline. There's your equilibrium point. Watch your whale prints. This either nukes or goes up. And I know that sounds like super, super simple, but like you're playing with fire here is why I like warn you. When I say play with fire, when Doge misbehaves, it misbehaves really, really badly. And that's a 50% down draw. So you are playing with fire if this thing pops down. So you have to be really, really on it to watch for the breakout. When the breakout hits, it'll be violent, and then you just, good luck. You can't really, good luck. That's all I can say. The reversion bands are going to be up here, but as of right now, if Doge goes on a run to touch reversion bands, we're talking $2.25 dollar Doge. We're well past a dollar Doge. So that's old school volatility, but regardless, that's your setup right there on Doge. And it's looking good right now, like 1 hour. While your pivot's up here, your midline's right here. Oh, man. Anyway, we're wrapping it up at around 10:25. I'm going to go hit the Discord up. We're going to go set up the weekly whale watch roundtable where we do open mics. Anybody can show their chart, stream, chat, all that. We hang out with the OGs. Links in Twitter, links on the website, rainbow-trends.com. If you, the Discord links at the top. But thanks for calling in. Guys, I apologize. I did like a 12, 14-hour workday today, so I'm just happy to be able to get on stream and watch this like almost at 100K. So it's awesome. But anyway, much love. Thanks again.